What is good? What is good, guys? Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Today will be my first ever session video that I'll upload on YouTube um, in regards to trading. Um, for the past 3 years, I've been uploading videos for myself and my team, my private team. But I've decided now that I will expand into YouTube, something that I've been thinking about for a long time, just for from lack of not knowing how to edit the videos. I've always been a bit behind because of that, and I thought I had to learn first before starting. Now I've changed my mind. I think with that I can learn along the way. So um, I will give this a try. I will not edit videos for um, For my first videos, I will not edit. I'll put some time into learning. But without further ado, let's get straight into overviews. This will be um videos of weekly overviews. I'll not be here to share any courses, uh promote myself in any kind of way to sell any information. Okay. To make this very clear, I am part of um a company, a community called Zinray, and I trade with them. I have I am part of their team. I have my own mentors, and these videos um will not be to sell any information, but to bring new traders to the community and to form new connections, to form new um yeah, to get new people in on board with us. Um, so these videos will not be to yeah, I've already said it to sell anything. Um, Now also um as part of a bit of myself, been trading for 6 years now, I believe. And I do you know, I've made some money, I've lost some money. I am still a student to the charts. And like many of you, I'm still here to learn every day and improve. So I will not be here to compete with other traders as well. I'm here to just, like I said, pass a message, maybe help in the ways I can, and um and to make everything fun because I think traders should be together and got to take advantage of things we have today um in order to make things more fun, to meet people and everything. So without further ado, let's start, right? I also want to point out that I won't be sharing the way I trade, right? If you are smart enough, you will understand what I'm talking about. You can, yes, leave questions, um, on the chat, on the comments below, and I'll get to them. I'll make sure I get to them. If it's something I cannot answer and I don't answer you, you can visit my Instagram or the Instagram of my mentors. I'll leave them here so that we could all, yeah, we can all talk. So my Instagram is Thinking with Carlos. This is me. Okay. And my mentors, got a couple of them. Got V for Valentino. Shout out to my OG mentor, been rocking with me forever. Uh, got Jordan, which is Mr. Seven Sources, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and for now, I'll just leave it like this, but I think because I'm not sure the tag of the others. I can quickly check though. Yeah, we got Kuma Rock, right? We got 1 second. We got Trading Coach, which is Zach. Okay. We got John Fibonacci. We got Siva, right? Which is Slaying Pips. Okay. So we all part of the same group. We all trade the same way. If you don't like my ways, what you're seeing, then just reach out to any of them. They're all amazing traders. They are my mentors. Um, amazing individuals. I have nothing but gratitude to all of them. Um, and yeah, so without further ado, man, let's save these guys. And I just want to say as well, so if this is weekly reviews, I will be going over some of the pairs here, some of the main stuff that we usually look at. So dollar, I do trade. I am a gold trader, heavily on gold. It's the only trade thing I trade. We can look at indices and some forex. So some euro, GU, AU, NU, UCAD, and some oil. Anything that correlates and it makes sense to look at. Okay. Um, so yeah, that that is what I'm gonna do every week. If I think something is worth mentioning or recording as part of extra videos, I will bring them. Um, but it will not be detailed. If you want detailed analysis or explanations, then I can get you started with my team, and we can all obviously go deeper into how we trade and everything. But again, this is this weekly reviews and videos not be done to just promote, right? Just selling because I'm not selling here. Um, but I do have a lot of respect for the many years that I've put in this learning, and so if it's something that you truly want to do and be part of us, then I think an exchange, right, needs to be put in place. Nothing is for free, and yeah, we gotta respect everyone's time and patience to that is put in every skill, really. Well, yeah, so let's start with our dollar. Okay. Mind my voice, my voice is a bit weird. The last couple of days I've been a bit ill, but that is not an excuse. So let's first start looking at seasonality. I don't know if many of you are familiar with seasonality, but this is something I use. I won't be explaining much about it, but we do see, I do see, I'm gonna stop saying we, right? Because sometimes, me and my mentors, we have opinions, different opinions, and that's completely fine. We are all traders who see different things. So I see gold climbing, right, a lot higher until, the next couple of years. I've been saying this for a while for my private team, for my friends, and yeah, he hasn't been stopping. He's been consistent for the past, 3, 4 years. Something I would still want to see is gold climbing higher. I think it makes a lot of sense. This was the previous election. I drove the gold lower. prior taking this low here, and we saw just gold going higher when Trump came in. And the same thing happened, but for a more amount of time with Biden, right? Because he drove it lower, right, for 1, 2 years to then make a low and continue. But that came after the hard times 9 year gap between this one and the next one. So very, very interesting. We do have gold continuations, same provision for prediction for dollar. Um, Seasonality seeing dollar going down. We can see the previous cycle of 16 was here. We don't have information about it, but the good times 8 happened right here, and we saw dollar going down, and prior and before and after as well. So prior and after too. So I'm thinking this low should be taken on dollar. We also been saying that for a while, and that's why you guys even see the fib here. This was the measurement from this high to this low, and we had a break of structure, right? Right here. I'm not sure why this trend line is like this. So it used to be blue. I'll just leave it black. So that was the break of structure. We ranged about for a while, first at the 50% level, to ultimately go lower, create more lows, more equal lows, and we fight higher to the 6 UNA level and consecutive candlesticks plus the actual candle structure that drove price lower. Another thing I forgot to mention before we continue the video is, right, we trade smart money. Okay, I've also forgot to point that out. We trade smart money. Now, I know there's a lot of opinions on what actually smart money is, and there's a lot of stuff there out there. It's not actually good. So we do trade smart money, right? Won't be explaining much, but we trade a lot with volumes. We trade with structure. I think that's the most important things. Liquidity, understanding what is liquidity. We trade with that, and I've also discovered myself, right? Because there is a strategy and then there is an entry technique, right? And myself, I've developed my own entry technique. I've taken what was given to me by my mentors, and I've developed my own entry technique slash, you can also say confirmation to my confirmation checklist. So, and that thing that I've created that I've been using for the past 3 years is called candle structure. Okay. So candle structure or CS. When I say CS, candle structure, when I say VOS, break of structure, I'm not gonna say VOS, I never say, but just so you guys understand, it's fibs, you guys gotta understand how I use fibs, right? I measure from if I'm selling from high to low, if I'm buying from low to high. You can measure whatever way you want, really, but um yeah, like I said, I don't think there's much to explain in as far as how I trade, but yeah, it's smart money, and I do have a net confirmation called candle structure. Okay, so maybe if you pay attention to these videos, you'll understand what it is, candle structure. Maybe yeah, you'll see it too. So that was the candle structure. From there, it was actually a monthly candle structure. Right, the moment we closed below that was the moment we had to come back to it, and from there we had the weekly candle structure right after, um, going lower every time. So everything is pretty fresh, pretty good. I want my dollar to continue lower, but there is a chance to fight a bit higher before doing so. And I'll get to that in a minute, but in focus to the seasonality that we have, I do see dollar continue lower. I do see gold maintaining higher. I don't really check much the indices because there's just not much information out there. We only have um we only have US 30 with the one like with more information because it starts here. And you can see the last time we had the good times 8 on a 16 cycle, we fight it higher to then fall and created a low into continuing higher. Same thing could be happening right now. I mean, we can be making a high now. We took a lot of liquidity. We formed so much liquidity. We can end up fighting lower in the next upcoming months. Not now, I'm not saying right now, but in the next maybe even year into making a low and then continuing higher. Okay. Anyways, I'm not a big indices trader. I'm not, but I do tend to check it here and there, and more of a swing type confirmation. And just to go on Forex, I mean, I don't think this seasonality, this is called the banner cycle, by the way. Um, I don't think it works a lot on Forex, only on commodities and indexes. But anything can change. But the last prediction we had on GU and EU, right? EU was continuing higher and GU was falling. That contradicts what it does. But at the same time, I could definitely see something like that happening because of the price action on EG. Okay. But again, I'm not going to comment too much on this. Why do I say gold higher in terms of seasonality? Well, the last time we were in cycle 16 is where we are. Okay. And we were at the good times 8, right? Even back here, we didn't have candles, which just lines. We started having candles here around the 70s. Okay. And since then, good times 8, we just completely lied. We never stopped. Probably made a little high mid good times 8. And if we go check out right now, we're still relatively behind. We haven't even started. So I do see more continuation for gold. The only time I'm going to see gold shorts for quite a long time is when we reach as you guys can see here, the panic cycle of 18, which the next one will start uh 2035. And if you're wondering what was the cycle 16, the panic, which by the way, us, the trade house, my mentors were they already predicting it was COVID, right? They were not predicting COVID itself, but they were predicting a major crisis in the world, and um, it so happened to be the pandemic. So that's what I have for now in terms of seasonality. Let's get to candles. Let's get to price action. So in terms of price action, continuing bearish on the weekly time frame, I do want to see us really falling, getting below this weekly quarter point if it's if it's okay. Um, And we also have a weekly no, daily range, which is bearish right now. And we had a retracement to the 618. It looked like we were falling. I did have also some lines here. I'll explain them in a minute, but what I was seeing in terms of this fib range here, because this is the from high to low, this was the selling scenario that I was looking for, but also looking at this to even still can work is because you know, I do see us maybe getting to some of these internal liquidities inside of this range before going. So, but I think we're too weak to do that. My this That's why these lines were here. These were my structures, my past structures for the price action I had, and this was the first structure point that I wanted to see pass and markets go higher. And the next one was this one. This was a 1 hour range. This was a 4 hour range. And you can see the 4 hour range acted as a POI, as a point of interest. And from there, we had a 1 hour break of structure. So you broke this low, broke with bodies. The market created internal liquidities here, right? And ultimately fell down pretty nicely. So for me, dollar is bearish for now. For us to be bullish, I think we need to maybe break this high first, this one. Okay. And maybe only then we can see if this is still worth playing and everything. But for now, even volume wise, I think we continue. Okay. Just makes sense to do so. So that is my dollar. Um, for gold and what we had for the past weeks. I wish you guys had access at a time, but we've been calling buy since here, literally, since we've made this low. We had this past fib retracement. The retracement happened right here. This was a daily range. When we had the confirmation, when I had the confirmation of 4 hour range to break, they indeed decided to start pulling down until we had this breaker structure here. Okay. Until we had this low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, and a break, right? So when we had that, we had to look at the this whole push down, right? That took the liquidity. You could have also looked at the fib and wait the 618 and below, or you could have just looked at what I look for when I go in, which is candle structure, all right? In candle structure, I'm not gonna explain ever how candle structure is, unless maybe, I don't know, I get a lot of followers, I got a lot of subscribers, and I don't know, you guys really want this, or I don't know, we'll see. But don't have plans. But I'll show you briefly. So candle structure, a little phrase you guys can have at the back of your mind is, I never forget this, and I've heard it somewhere. I don't even remember where, which is you guys have candles, right, in a trend, and there are trends in the candles, right? Now, take what I said, and if you're smart enough, you'll understand what this means, right? And then As you guys can see, I use fibs a lot, so it means I look at the market as a fractal, as fractals, basically, right? And everything follows a order, a time frame. So I think I already said too much now. Maybe from what I said and what I'm going to show you every week, you guys maybe understand what I'm trying to say. But here, this was a weekly mitigation, and we only needed daily mitigations too going up. And I knew for a fact that we are going to be bullish when we actually closed above here, right? And that's when we came back down. And from there, you either see daily mitigations all the way up, obviously with internal concepts and all of that good stuff, structure, manipulation, and volumes, or you can just wait for the candles. Now, not every candle will work. I have a rule to check which candles work or how many times I can look at a candle inside of a POI, but that was pretty much it for the higher time frames. Now, how did my God, this is not going. How did I get in right there? Okay, right here. So when I saw this 4 hour, this 1 hour breaker structure and 4 hour candle structure, I just had to look at the 30-minute time frame here, right? Remember, if you're smart enough, you'll note this down. Everything that I'm saying, you'll note it down. Not here, I'm gonna try to explain or do a video explaining my concept. If you like it, again, if you like what I'm saying, go back, test yourself, and you like it, get in contact with me, and I'm sure I'll be super happy to have you in the team and explaining you even more. Okay, but here, when we came down, I just looked into the 30-minute, and as we're coming down, we've had a volume divergence. Okay, we've also had a last absorption in price. So from here to here, the price absorbed, and from this candle to this one, right, which is the bullish candle, you can even see this bearish candle is larger than this bullish candle. You can see that that was a shift in volume there. So it means that even though this candle is smaller, the volume here should have been smaller, not bigger. And that was a clear manipulation slash like hint saying, oh, there is smart money over there. And you can start looking for buys. So the moment we closed above my 30-minute candle structure was the moment I said, okay, I have two options here. I can either go in, stop loss below the low, which is exactly what I done, or I can wait for 5 minutes. Okay. Now, guys, remember, I'm gonna say this only for this lesson. I'm not gonna say it for the next lessons. I will be giving you some time frame rules. Yeah, only this session. I'm not gonna put them all right here written, but as you hear it, if you're seeing the video and you're smart enough, you'll note them down. Okay. So that was a 30-minute, and from there you can look at 5 minutes. So let's maybe dive in, look at a 5 minute. Maybe we can even see. Yeah, so right, so 30-minute again, just so I go in, we don't lose ourselves. I'll put a line here to delineate that this is the 30-minute. And on the 5 minute, we can see the same thing forming. So this was the 30-minute manipulation in price. You can even see that there is a huge volume divergence, kind of looking like wick off, right? Good stuff we like to see, right? You can also see a big um, imbalance, inverted imbalance in there, aligning with a good imbalance, normal imbalance. And you can even see some internals, some sister lows. I call, by the way, I call liquidity. So we have equal lows, we have equal highs, but whenever you see some weird shaped lows in like this or like this, not straight, I'll call them either sister highs or sister lows. Okay, so if you're wondering what the hell is this guy saying, is that okay? So this was my sister lows. So the moment we took that out, and you guys can even see the shift in volume. The moment we did this high here, price started to go lower, go lower, go lower, and we started to see that volume divergence in there. The moment we created the last candle, the candle that mitigated past orders, was the moment we absorbed. Okay, was the moment we absorbed, and just following the order, my candle structure order. If this is a 30-minute candle that closes above, I need to see the last candle inside of that closing above two. If I don't see, so you can see here, no 5-minute close above, no 5-minute close above, no 5-minute. The moment we close here is the moment I'm getting in. So this was the 5-minute. I have two options now. I either look at a 1-minute or 5-minute itself, and don't need, don't need because this risk is already small. So that was just the setup at a time. I just showed you. You guys can find the entries on my Instagram, the highlights. I post many of my trades there. You guys can find it there. Um, you guys can also find good things on my mentor's pages. We post a couple stuff, not all the time, but it's there. Okay, it's there. Um, so that was the whole bias. So the moment we had this, even though we came back down a couple times here, I knew exactly what was happening, right? So this was the 1 hour break, this one right here. But there was 4 hour break over here, however you want to see it. And this was just market coming back down to take orders, to grab them and go higher. Okay. So even though we came back and forth many times, it was needed. It was needed because the way we created liquidity, the way we took liquidity and played structure as well. So the last setup I had on gold, the last setup I had on gold was here. Okay, so the last setup was here. This was, where's my EMA? Okay, so the last setup was here. There was a 1 hour range. This was my high, higher low, and higher high. The moment I had my higher high, that was the fib I pulled. I had my internals, I had my inverted imbalance, I had my imbalance, I had my candlesticks. But how did I break it down into the entry, right? You could have gone in like that as well from internal if the risk is already fine. I mean, you're not dealing with pips here, you're dealing with risk to reward. Um, but how do I break this down in terms of candle structure, right? And so in here, I had to look at the 15-minute, okay? So the moment we're coming down and no closure, no closure, no closure, the moment we close above the 15-minute, I'll go back and see what I showed you, right? See what I showed you and understand why I'm looking at 15, okay? Also, maybe if you guys do have questions, I might answer in the comments or private on Instagram. Okay, we'll see. We'll see about that. This is my first ever first ever video. I don't want to think too much. I just want to start doing, right? Start doing. But This was the zone, okay? And when we come back down, you'll have two choices, either play and you get stopped out, or is a good win, or you're gonna break it down into the 5 minute. And so here you can see this low did work first, and then we took it off. I have something called the rule of three. Okay. Now, this was the 5 minute that first closed above. Market comes back down, respects it. If for whatever reason we create a high to be taken later on with liquidity and we come down to take liquidity, it will be exactly the first candle that formed the low and the play. And that's exactly what we did. So the moment we took this off, I had just to wait for my 5 minute again, which is here. So the moment we closed above that and we had you can even see that there's volume divergence printing on, right? There is an absorption on the last candle. You can start to see um, some volumes going up as well as term as the bullish volumes. So the moment we had this closure and market comes back down, you can enter, you can enter here, or you can wait for the 1 minute. This looks like this is that 80 pip stop loss. So I would preferably, even though I'm not dealing with pips, I would go lower and I would look for a 1 minute. Okay. And so the moment it came down, I would look for 1 minute. So no closure above the wick with body and wick. No closure, no closure, no closure. Boom, closure. So this was the time. You can even see volume divergence. Prior, we have nice liquidity to even take later on in terms of these equal highs and everything. This was the 1 minute candlestick, and you can even see like some nice breaker structure that happened over there. Everything was um, pretty nice setup. But I'm out. I was out literally at this high. This was a very, very good setup. And my entry was literally at this low. I didn't wait for this. I just entered right here. And this is a crazy move. I had to close it. But the market is still going, continuing strong. I don't regret not holding. Um, no FOMO. No FOMO, but very, very it was a very good run. And then there was more here, but I wasn't good enough to capture this on the end of the week last week. It was very, very nice. There was this morning, there was this 50-minute candle structure play inside of all of this. And the last time, you know, we can see the candle structure here. The first one that we actually closed above was here. Took that liquidity. What was the second one? Second one, this doesn't really count because it's just gaps. This was the second one. We closed above. We failed. From here on, we need a third one. Okay. So the third one was here. So this was the third one. The candle in power is this one. Uh, I'm going to explain what is a candle in power. But this was the candle in holding the low. When we close above that, we should have, see with this candle, we only closed with this candle. We should have come back down, but we didn't. That means it was just, yeah, it's not meant to work at this time frame. At this time frame, no, at this particular time. But what I do when it doesn't get mitigated, it means it's gonna mitigate the next one. So that was the next 5 minute, close above, came back down, a stop below the low. And the next 5 minutes should work as well. You can see every time we close, we come back down. Right, we close, we come back down, close and back down. Very, very nice. Okay. So pretty nice accumulations that took place. And this larger accumulation, absolutely crazy. So as an overview, what is gold doing now? What I'm waiting for, right? Because I'm still bullish on the daily. So I need my 4 hour, 1 hour ranges to work, right? We do have this 4 hour range in play here. And this is a nice candle to even play. So this is something to wait for. For now, we can use the fib as it prints, but a higher is not formed, it's still expanding. So all we gotta do until something changes is just wait for um for a high to be set, and there's confirmations to see that too. So this will be probably be the next internal liquidity prior to this range. But can also be a zone to be played from. Okay. And I won't be touching on why, but it could be. Okay, so very, very nice. Something I'm waiting for myself. This is something that worked before, and this was actually a play that we also got in prior to I think this was NFP. Yeah, NFP. This was the play, right? This breaker structure. You guys probably seen at the start of the videos a blue line here, and that was the breaker structure. Okay, this here was the 4/1 hour break. Could have looked in here like this as well. And after we come back down, you would look for again a 1 hour break or 15 minute break. But just knowing liquidity after we took this, right, it was just time to get in. Um, and I've actually took this from a 50-minute structure, right? It was this one right here, and this was my candle that I've played from. I have an entry on the Instagram, and my mentors they do as well. So if you if you're interested to learn stuff like this, man, get in contact with us. We're serious traders. We won't be here for showing off, show off. It's not what we do, but we are a good community of traders. We trade together. We're here to really create good stuff. So let's continue. So that was gold. What am I expecting now? I'm expecting for probably some retracements, but there's really nothing yet. So won't be getting to nothing. I'm not gonna comment. Stuff is still going higher, so nothing yet. Um, Won't be looking at silver. Silver is probably is the same thing. It's gonna go for those highs, and I still have to update my level, so I'm gonna jump this one. I'm gonna jump the indices for this lesson too. Uh, 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 for EU and GU, stuff changed, right? Because when I had the 1 hour break over here, this was last week's prediction. I said we're gonna go higher on dollar, right? And probably we would break the this high too. But the moment we didn't, and then midweek we changed bias, I saw EU and GU going higher, not respecting this zone here. But this was the market I had in terms of the sells. I've been trying to sell from this past range here, but right now the dollar's shown or it just wants to fly lower. That is my prediction for both of them. I want to continue to see um, buys for EU and GU, unless obviously there's still a shift in the structure and things turn around. And if that is the case, there is, believe me, there's still room for EU and GU to fall off and have a really good fall off, um, following this week and the next to target this low here. So that'll be my comment. I won't be sharing anything now because it's still printing. There's really not much still. Um, so I'll just wait on that. And for you, CAD. For you, CAD, we do have the same thing. It's still ranging sideways inside of this range that we have. It's really not much to comment. I'm still waiting for more price action, and I'm waiting to see if price wants to get down here before going higher. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. And no comment on oil. Don't really want to comment on oil, but I think that oil should continue lower. Okay, that's what I think. Your chef, still super, super bearish. We got this range, but I'm thinking we should see this low getting taken very, very soon. We'll see if things change. I'm gonna keep my fib actually. It's not like I trade you, chef. I just have it marked. I don't trade it. Right now, guys, I'm only focused on gold. That's the only thing I'm focused on. And same thing goes for you, Jay. I mean, my prediction for JPYs, when we look at this chart here, because it's the opposite. Um, I do see us going higher, and that would mean you J lower, but things could change. Things could really change, but that is just my prediction. And that's gonna be it for now. I mean, I don't want to get too much into everything else. Um, yeah, because I'm just waiting on the moves. I want ultimately, I want the majors to fall off, right? But with dollar like this, they will continue to rise. And gold, that does not act with anything else. Gold does what it wants to do and usually follows structure pretty well. I want continuation for buys, but for now it's too high. We don't buy this high, so waiting for a better opportunity is the best thing to do. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So hope you guys enjoyed. This is the first video. I did slide some sauce. Go make sure you test it out at least the little I said. Um, but you see just a hint, you see all these time frames. That's exactly the order I follow for things. Now, not I don't use every time frame here. Some I don't use for candle structure, but if smart enough, you gotta test yourself and you're gonna check it yourself as well. But that is gonna be it. If you guys have any questions, any comments, yeah, observations, you guys can leave it in the comments. If you don't like the way I trade or you didn't like the little you saw, you can also say it. I appreciate any feedback and just here to, again, like I said, make new connections, expand my uh my social media. Yeah, my social media, my socials and make new connections. So that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.